Imagine, if you will, a desert. And in the middle of the desert, an oasis. But not just any oasis. A huge, lush, and even hard-to-believe resort with a theme park and a water park. These that are set to destroy many records with their several coasters, rides, slides, and more. I'm talking about Aqua Arabia and Six Flags Qiddiya City, the first of its kind in a region, and one that's set to change the global theme park landscape. So, let's explore what this project has to offer, shall we? More than 80% of viewers aren't subscribed, so if you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and consider becoming one. You can find me over on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and the Discord, the Disney fan community. Well, let's get going. Let's start in the beginning. In 2017, Qiddiya City was announced, an entertainment mega project located close to Riyadh, being financed by the Saudi government under the Saudi Vision 2030, with the goal of diversifying Saudi Arabia's economy, one that is mostly reliant on oil exploration. At the center of the project are the theme parks that are set to bring in millions of visitors a year, but also the Qiddiya Speed Track, an FIA Grade 1 racing circuit which is being built and expected to hold a Formula 1 Grand Prix and MotoGP races. Interconnected with the racetrack lie both the water and theme parks. In the dozens of attractions present are some set to break a few world records, including Falcon's Flight, by far the most exciting ride in the parks. A roller coaster that when it opens will be the tallest, fastest, and longest in the entire globe. That's not something to overlook. However, there's just so much more to explore in the parks. I can safely say we're just getting started. Six Flags Qiddiya City is a Six Flags only in name. In fact, it's not even owned by Six Flags. The American company sold the licensing rights to the Saudis, as it's known globally. It becomes obvious this isn't just another of their parks from the moment you step foot into it. The theme park boasts 6 different themed lands. As you enter, you can choose which one to visit first, as a large central hub, the Citadel, leads to all 6. A part of it is covered with a canopy inspired by traditional tents. Visitors will be able to shop and dine in a variety of establishments such as restaurants and cafes, and it will also transform throughout the day with interactive shows. Going from the left to right, we can discover each of the lands, starting with Discovery Springs. It represents the connection between Qiddiya and the desert and the sea, as the rides play with both earth and water. It's filled with waterfalls, aqueducts, and geysers, as well as exotic plants and trees. What pretty much can be described as an oasis aims to offer some relief to visitors during the summer heat by creating a dense rainforest in the desert. The headline attractions here are Sea Stallion, the tallest and fastest rider-controlled coaster in the world, as guests control the speed of their horse, with a track length of 500 meters and a top speed of 60 kilometers an hour. Zuma Flume, an exciting river with a 13-meter drop and a storyline connecting it to the land and water conservation. Big Splash, a ride that will bring riders 15 meters above ground before plunging down to the water below. And Into the Deep, an interactive dark ride that will bring guests along for a mysterious journey. Up next is Steamtown, where the past and the future collide in a rugged frontier and steampunk town. It's themed around mechanical marvels and all kinds of different contraptions. One of the most exciting rides of the whole park will be found here, named Iron Rattler, the world's tallest tilt coaster built by Vekoma. Six Flags says it promises an exhilarating adventure as riders follow the exciting path of many prospectors before them, down a narrow, steam-filled mine shaft. It'll rise 63.4 meters from the ground and go as fast as 118 kilometers an hour, while also having a dark ride element. Sawmill Falls is another attraction here, a water coaster combining a roller coaster with some very appreciated splashes of water. Spruikinator, an invention by the land's professor Screamore, and Steel Stampede, as guests ride a herd of mechanical bulls. Twilight Gardens is number 3 on the list, an oversized landscape of imagination filled with colorful flowers and friendly creatures, designed for younger visitors and their families. A headliner here is the Enchanted Greenhouse, an immersive interactive 3D dark ride designed by incredible teams over on Joravision. Other rides include the Twilight Express coaster, where smaller guests will follow a ladybug on its first flight, especially magical at night with all kinds of light effects. Valley of Fortune is next, an exciting land themed to time-worn ruins of old Arabian masonry, filled with activity and trade of fortune seekers, as there's legend of buried treasures that many before you have tried and failed to discover. The land's signature attraction is Spitfire, a plane-themed triple launch coaster that'll take guests into a sky roll before an acrobatic stall 73 meters in the air and a dive back to the valley floor. All of this while achieving a top speed of 127 kilometers an hour. To its side is Treasure Trail, an off-road adventure in our own Jeep in search of forgotten treasure, and Skywatch, where you can see incredible vistas of the park 45 meters up, or as they say, higher than 8 giraffes stacked up for some reason. At 5th place, we have the Grand Exposition, a land that celebrates innovation, combining the nostalgia of Carnival Midways with the greatest feats of science and technology. A clone of Six Flags classic Colossus, a gravity-driven wood steel hybrid roller coaster stretching over 800 meters of track, will act as the background for the land. Here, yet another record-breaking ride can be found. This time, the world's tallest pendulum ride, coming in at a staggering 53 meters tall, themed to one of Nikola Tesla's creations. Other smaller attractions are also sprinkled throughout the land. At last, we come to the final land of the park, one that promises to house the most thrilling rides, something you can clearly make out from the name of the land, City of Thrills. The park says it's the embodiment of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, a forward-looking, boundary-pushing future city anchored in Arabic design. Here, guests will find several thrilling rides, like Sarako Tower, the world's tallest freestanding shot tower that will shoot guests to the top at a breathtaking 145 meters before plunging back down. In the storyline of the land, it powers City of Thrills by harnessing the Sarako winds. Closer to the ground is Adrenaline, a suspended family coaster because everyone in the family deserves to enjoy some thrills. We've now reached the point of the video to finally talk about the ride that is set to completely demolish everything we've explored today, Falcon's Flight. After boarding the amazing looking vehicles, you leave City of Thrills and begin your journey around the park. Slowly but surely. Since the theme park is located in the valley, the designers over at Intamin use that to create something completely unique. The trains get faster and faster as they start to ascend the mountains. Once on top, they take a few turns to enjoy the views before slowing down and creeping over to the abyss. One you'll eventually have to go down. Then it happens. You plunge down 185 meters at a maximum speed of a mind-boggling 250 kilometers an hour. But just as you reach for air, you start making your way up the massive Camelback, one that's taller than the currently tallest coaster in the world, coming in at 162 meters. At amazing speeds, the trains go through the rest of the track, one which, by the way, covers 4.3 kilometers. Falcon's Flight is a monster of a coaster, one that looks so strange and something that would never actually leave the design room, but that isn't the case. Many mega projects like this have been presented, showcased, and never built, including big names such as Universal Dubai Land and the entirety of the Dubai Land project. In fact, Brian McAmar, Six Flags Qiddiya City's park president, knows that well, as he previously worked with Universal in their Dubai park. Dubai's approach was very different. They showcased a massive project with dozens of parks, hotels, water parks, and so much more. It was focused on the quantity and not the quality. That's not happening here, as the Saudis are kickstarting the large project slowly, focusing on doing things right before expanding. And unlike with many of Dubai's projects, here construction has been going for several years and is reaching its end, to many people's surprises, mine included. Construction photos and videos from the construction site show exactly what we've been exploring all video: the 6 lands, their 28 attractions and rides, including the crazy looking Falcon's flight, which you must take a while in order to really believe what you're seeing. The footage shared by the park and its workers also show the second park being built here, Aquarabia, a very unique themed water park with 8 distinct zones, each holding its own share of the 22 rides and experiences. Just like its bigger brother, the park has also a few record-breaking attractions, like Janoon Drop, the world's tallest and longest water coaster, Slitherwheel, the longest slide wheel in the world, and the world's tallest aqua loop. However, what really catches my eye with Aquarabia is the immersive and impressive theming, all inspired by the local nature and wildlife. Now, being Saudi Arabia, the project isn't without its controversy, mostly to do with the country's human rights record, treatment of women, and lack of recognition of LGBT rights. As the country tries to open up to the world with projects such as this, it'll also need to seriously work on these issues that plague its image, or Qiddiya City and several other projects will never really be successful in bringing in millions of visitors each year from all over the world. That said, the Saudis aren't pushing the brake pedal anytime soon, as just this year, a third park was announced for Qiddiya City, a massive, world's first Dragon Ball theme park to include over 30 different attractions, immersive theming, and more. I believe the project won't kick off until the opening of the first 2 parks, which, speaking of, when are they opening? Well, it was originally planned to open in 2023, but due to several delays, some of which in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic, that year passed and nothing happened. Currently, construction is set to be completed during 2025 and could open by the end of next year, but an official opening date is still to be revealed by the parks. One thing is certain though, and that is, when Six Flags Qiddiya City finally opens to the public, it'll shatter records like very few parks ever did on the opening day. The question that remains is, will the resort be a success, or will it have a similar fate to other tourism mega projects in the region like Dubai Parks and Resorts and Dubai Land? So I ask you, what do you think about the project? Do you think it'll be a success? And finally, would you ride Falcon's flight, or would you have second thoughts? Let me know down below. And now, as always, thank you for watching, and that's a wrap.